Hi, I'm Dr. Ellis Orozco, and thanks for listening to this video podcast. I hope you have a great weekend. Okay, thanks for listening in to this weekend podcast, just a 3-minute devotional I just want to give to you. Something to think about going into your weekend. A lot of you are going to be spending time this weekend worshiping with your church family somewhere. And I want you to take just a moment to think about what you're doing and maybe even to rethink what worship looks like to a certain degree. In our culture, we tend to make worship all about singing and music and offering praises to God. And certainly that's an important part of worship. But I want you to rethink that a little bit. I want you to see that in Jesus' day and for Jesus, in the ancient Hebrew culture, worship wasn't all about singing. Now they sang, they had hymns and psalms that they would sing, but worship was mostly about listening to God and then doing, obeying. Just kind of pull a couple things out of Jesus' life to kind of make my point. Jesus says the same thing. The night before his death, he's talking to his disciples, and he says, my Father's love is in me, and I want my Father's love to be in you. He says, now remain in my love. And that's what it is to worship. To worship is to be in love with God, to express your love to God through Jesus, to remain in his love, to be in his love is to worship. And so Jesus says, now remain in my love. And then he says, this is how you do that. Obey my commands. This is very much a Hebrew understanding of worship. It is that you're going to listen to the voice of God, and then you're going to do it, to obey. Jesus tells this parable again, making this same basic point about worship and what it means to express your love to God. And he said there was this father who had 2 sons. And the first son, he says to him, son, I want you to go out and work the field and do this for me. And that son says, sure, father, yeah, absolutely, you're awesome, I'm going to do it. But then he never does it. He doesn't do it. And then the father goes to the second son, same thing. Son, I want you to go out in the field. I want you to work the field. I want you to do this for me. And that son says, no, father, I don't feel like doing it. I'm tired. I'm not going to do it. He refuses. But then he has a change of heart, and he goes out and he works the field. He does what the father asked him to do. And Jesus' question is, now, which of these 2 sons loved the father, truly loved father? Which of the 2 sons was the obedient son? And obviously, it's the one who actually did it. So as you look to worship this weekend, wherever you go to worship, however you do that, I want you to rethink worship a little bit. That it's not just about the singing and about the music, although that's good, but it's not primarily about that. That your worship is primarily about listening to the voice of God and then obeying. Do what God tells you to do. I hope you have a great weekend.